I have 100% proof that the NBA rigged the series between the Timberwolves and the Lakers. The NBA rigged games 3 and 4 for the Timberwolves. They rigged game 1 for the Timberwolves when the Lakers purposely sold game 1. They sold the first half of the series. Now in game 3, you're going to notice GOAT King LeBron had exactly 38 points. GOAT King LeBron's last bucket came with 5:59 left in the fourth quarter. GOAT King LeBron did not score a single bucket the rest of the way. Now the NBA is completely rigged. He only attempted one shot the rest of the game with 5:59. This is 100% proof that the NBA's rigged. GOAT King LeBron in Game 3 finished with 38 points without even scoring a point for the rest of the 5:59 in the fourth quarter. Because he was not allowed to win the game. He was not allowed to score the rest of the game to help the Lakers win. Minnesota is Camacho 38. He finished with 38 points. It's so laughable. He didn't even score a bucket the rest of the fourth quarter because it was scripted. And second of all, GOAT King LeBron could easily win Game 4 if Adam Silver told him, hey, this is your guy's game to win. He didn't even score a single point in the fourth quarter in Game 4. Not because he sucks and he's a joker. The reason being he scored 0 points is because the Lakers were not allowed to win the game. The game was fixed for the Timberwolves. You want some more evidence the game was absolutely fixed for the Timberwolves? 116 points in Game 3. And voila, 116 points in Game 4. What are the odds that the Timberwolves scored the same exact points in back-to-back games? T-Wolves, Camacho 116. So both games were rigged for the Timberwolves, Games 3 and Game 4. That is proof they rigged those two games for Minnesota. Now the NBA is scripting the comeback down 3-1, of course, to line up with ratings for GOAT King LeBron loser-hating bums to watch Game 5, 6, and 7. And GOAT King LeBron Nation, but especially the haters. Because if the Lakers were up 3-1, why even watch Game 4, right? The narrative is that it's been given to the Lakers. But now they're watching because the Lakers are down 3-1. And the Las Vegas factor. Oh, Lakers at 5. Lakers in 5. Laker Nation, GOAT King LeBron Nation be betting on their first 4 games. Lost 1 out of 4 games. And now, loser GOAT King LeBron hating bums going to bet the house that the Timberwolves are going to win the series, but this makes Vegas profit early on the series and later on in the series. Indiana Pacers are 1 win away from winning the series. There won't even be a Game 6 on Friday at this point. And the Cavs have practically won the series in 5 games. If those 2 series end on Friday in the Eastern Time Zone, with the Lakers trip to Minnesota scheduled on Friday, there's got to be both an early and a late game. And so this early game for the Lakers is going to happen right after the Pacers win in 5 games. Because there has to be both an early and a later game. There has to be both. There can't be just one. There's got to be one early game. And that game is Lakers Timberwolves. In every game, for Europeans to watch Luka and Rudy Gobert, the French and the Slovenian stars, they had to wake up in the AM to watch the games. But when you have a Game 7 on at 12:30 on Sunday, this game is not on as late in the European time zones. So instead of waking up to watch Luka at 2 a.m. in the morning, on a Sunday, where everyone on the East Coast is watching at 2, 3 o'clock, you got people in Slovenia and Paris watching at 9:30 p.m. Not as late. More fans in Europe are able to watch the game on Sunday by being played at 12:30 Pacific, making it more accessible for people in the East Coast of the U.S. and in the European time zones to tune into Rudy Gobert and Luka Doncic, the French player from Rudy Gobert, watching their compatriot. And now they're ready to win this in 7 games. 34 wins after the restart. They beat Anthony Edwards in the repeat for GOAT King LeBron, a repeat of 2016. The mirror Cleveland, the miracle that saw GOAT King LeBron and the Cavaliers come back from 3-1. That the 33rd and 34th home wins of the season. It would also be the 34th win since the restart. GOAT King LeBron is at 74 games for the entire season right now. The King is about to take over. Look at number 77, the 77th game of the season. Of course, sees GOAT King LeBron winning Game 7, the 77th game of the season for GOAT King LeBron James. The King is going to deliver the comeback for the 34th home win of the year for the Lakers. But the real question is, when was the last win on the... Well, let's first... How many wins after the Luka trade would this be for the Lakers to complete the comeback? 26 wins later, the Lakers complete the comeback against the T-Wolves. 26 wins after the Luka trade. A comeback. 26. All this connects to GOAT King LeBron's 26th win in the finals by beating the Celtics this year. The tie Kobe Bryant to be 1 ring away from tying Michael Jordan and Kareem. 26 is a central theme. The first win back in action for the Lakers. So they had 43 wins at the time that GOAT King LeBron executed the comeback. There his first win back in action. And this was on the 26th day too. So 11 wins later, this would be. That buzzer beater against Indiana. Indiana's another Gematria 34 to look at. It's a really, really big one. And of course, May the 4th of 2025, notice, is 9-day in numerology, Lakers' 18th title. 1 month and 8 days after GOAT King LeBron's buzzer beater, 5 weeks and 4 days later, the Lakers' 54th win on a day of 5-4. The Timberwolves, Kobe's debut, Kobe Bean, Bryant, Gematria 54. 1 month, 8 days is the Lakers' 18th title, GOAT King LeBron James. Right after the first win since his return from injury. 18th title incoming for the Lakers. What about Jared Vanderbilt against his former team? The Minnesota Timberwolves. He comes back from injury and, yeah, he's ready to win. His defense shutting down Anthony Edwards. Jared Vanderbilt, a key storyline of the season. The debut against the Warriors, going to take on the Warriors the next round, and he's going to go beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. So what about the amount of time from the Warriors debut to the Game 7 would be 99 days, and 99 is, of course, Lakers. The Lakers is 99. The Vandalorian is returned from injury. Vanderbilt's the Gematria of Jerry West, number 44. 4 months, 4 days after GOAT King LeBron's birthday, they defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves. The nth playoff game between the Lakers and the Timberwolves. Playoffs game log. The 19th game of the series, the 19th championship for the repeat back-to-back. If you go King LeBron James, the Lakers are going to be 12-7 against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the playoffs. Showtime Lakers. The Lakers show 12-7 against the Timberwolves. It's 9-7 right now for Lakers, scripted, because Anthony Edwards is 97, and then of course Slovenia is where he is from. We're talking about Luka Doncic. Now Luka Magic is Gamache of the 3 months and the 3 days after the Luka trade is Game 7. $10, $11, and $12. The under 16, I think, is Lucas making 116 less. He lost out on potentially over $160 million in earnings due to his trade. Doncic would have been eligible for the Supermax with the Mavs, and he's 116 short, and both games ended under 16 for the Timberwolves in Games 3. The Timberwolves' last wins in Games 3 and 4 are going to result in the 34th win since the restart to win the series, and of course for the 33rd and 34th home wins of the season. I did look his debut. I want to go from the last game against the Mavs to the day that he's going to win the scripted Game 7. He gets injured. Don't forget the significance of the game on Christmas. He gets injured against Minnesota, his last game being on Christmas, and then, Lakers season began against the Timberwolves. Lucas' last game against the Timberwolves shows you how rigged it really is. In 4 months, 9 days later, he wins Game 7 from the time of the injury. Dallas 49, which is the Lakers improving the 4-9 in the finals against the Timberwolves. And just to review this part right here. So they entered with 79 games. The 86 playoff game for the Timberwolves is to be eliminated against the Lakers. The greatest of all time is Gamache of 86, and of course the Lakers going to win the championship as a tribute to the Palisades Wildfires. That's the tribute for the Lakers. Palisades Wildfires. I forgot what the 83-day duration is, but I can talk about it some more. GOAT King LeBron is definitely going to enter the conference finals with the 191 wins. Their 13th playoff loss against LA. Palisades Wildfires 83. Collapse is 83 in Gamache. A collapse for the Minnesota Timberwolves in the making. Anthony Edwards is going to lose the series in his 34th playoff game of his career for the Lakers' 34th loss at home. The Lakers' 34th win at home, Anthony Edwards' 34th game in his playoff career. Again, this is Luka Magic. And so it's pretty clear what his playoff log is going to be for Luka. That 56th game is going to get that win at Minnesota. That 57 is the championship number. It's 5 months and 7 days after the Palisades Wildfires. The restart, the first win since the restart is to the time that the Lakers win the championship. The Lakers' last road win to their next road win is going to be something significant too to look out for. So Lakers' last road win is against Dallas, right? April the 9th. That was their last road win. How many days later to their next road win? May the 2nd. The King is going to win that game 23 days later. The King gets the win on the road. The King from Akron is sent it back to LA to win the series. Series is rigged for the Timberwolves to win, so people can bet on the Timberwolves. So GOAT King LeBron-Laker-hating bums don't tune out with the Lakers already winning 3-1, 4-1. It's scripted, so it's not Lakers in 4, Lakers in 5, Lakers in 6. That there's a game 7 in the earlier time, so people in Europe can watch the game in the PM instead of the AM. And there's got to be an early game on Friday. Not looking good for Cleveland and Miami. Not looking good for Milwaukee and Indiana. If the Pacers manage to win in 5, then we know they're going to want that game 6 early game to be Lakers Timberwolves, making the bar owners rich in the process.